Okay, did you rate your performance last night? And you're going to be able to see the full 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 58 seconds. It'll be post-show. It'll be up on the app.
Now, rating from 1 to 10 or in the three that I've done? Rating in what way?
Just
how
like
it
1 to
went?
10 last night. How would you rate yourself?
I would say it went, I'm going to say 6.5.
Okay.
That seemed reasonable. And if I kept the mic closer to my mouth for the whole time, I would give it a solid 7, if that's fair. I don't know.
Now,
it's not really for me to judge, but I felt comfortable enough that it was more to the right of 5 than to the left of 5.
Yeah. Paulie, how would you rate it?
I would tend to agree with that. I thought it was like a 5.5 because Todd took what he did in Minnesota and he tightened up the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if he focused on that same story about going to the Holy Land with the wife and cut that to a great 4 minutes, he's got a bit. The audience was buying into it as it went. And when he left the stage, there was a solid vibe in the room. And again, we saw 8 comedians last night. And if I had to rank them, Todd would have been 6 out of 8. And the other 7 were pros or wannabe pros.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one of the things that hurt Todd in New York City is that the people surrounding Todd on stage crushed. They were hilarious. They were really, really funny. And Todd was sort of sandwiched between really funny people. And that was tough.
The guy who went right before Todd, he had this kind of effect, like almost like Emo Phillips, like where his delivery was the joke, and it tanked. So much so that the MC even said, well, he goes, well, there's that, you know, and when he got up on stage. And Todd was next, and I think it really set the stage for Todd.
But if you did doing something unholy in the Holy Land right out of the gate, don't you have them? Or did you want to have something that was 4 minutes in?
Yeah, I think for some reason I thought the appropriate sequence was, you know, a little medical history and then the losing weight that was going to lead to the yellow flag of roughing the spouse, and that was going to.
I understand.
And that was going to somehow get me into, you know, the lack of intimacy, and then it goes into
Just
Israel.
the first joke wasn't funny. That's the problem. And you had Now, why did you have the mic too far away from you?
It wasn't that it was so far away. I think, and Paulie had said earlier that there was a little something with the mic where it was, you know, not a great mic, for lack of a better word, where you really had to put it right up to your lips for it to work properly.
I can't back you on this one, Todd. The mic for the previous 4 comedians, a couple of people had it too far away, and you couldn't hear him, including the guy right before you, and it hurt his act. The microphone was not great, and you had to put it real close to your mouth and project. And the comedian, the guy who ran it, Andy behind me, said, he goes, it's always better to be too loud than too soft. He goes, we could lower it.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, it's tough, especially when you want to move your hands and gyrate a little bit and express yourself while you're talking, which I've had issues with on this very show. With
I don't want you gyrating. No, I don't.
You don't need to see the gyrating.
No, I don't want to see that.
But yeah, there were times when the audio went up and down because the mic was in an inconsistent level to my face.
All right. Well,
we gave it a shot.
Yeah, you did. And I have great respect.
I do want to say that when I appreciate that, I do want to say that some great support from a lot of Dan Patrick Show fans came out before the show. There were some people huddled in front of the Comedy Store and some nearby restaurants where people are yelling Fritzy, knock him dead, or break a leg and all that, because it was publicized on the app and on the show. Some people came out specifically because they're big fans of the show. So that was helpful. Back to you in the studio.
Fritzy sent this to me. This is from Mark Ellis. Mark Ellis, a comedian and local comedian. He sent this tweet out. Huge respect to Fritzy for telling jokes on the most hallowed ground in comedy, the Comedy Store. Football has Lambeau. Baseball has Fenway. Hockey has Canada. Congrats on hitting the fairway at the St. Andrews of comedy. That's a compliment to you.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's very nice.
He couldn't have been nicer and kept me calm and gave me a tour of the place and just really made me feel welcome and not some kind of outsider that had no business being on that stage.
Yes,
hitting the fairway is a very nice compliment.
It is. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, you like to hit the green, but you know. And by the way, the fairways at St. Andrews are the widest of any fairways in the world. Just as a reference point, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to miss the fairway at St. Andrews on first tee.
Oh.
Just saying.
Okay.
Will Ferrell did say something to keep things in perspective. I don't know if it was from Steve Martin's book. He said the first 100 times you go up there on any venue, big or small, that those don't count. Like,
and you've done 3.
And I've done 3. So for 3, I'll take it.
Todd sculled his tee shot. His second shot ended up in the fairway.
He had a mulligan.
He mulliganed.
He mulliganed. Yes, he.
I think Todd broke major ground here. Are you going
to do an act at the Super Bowl?
Possibly. It's in discussion.
If we're writing the story of this like chapter of Todd's comedy career would be the introduction of punchlines. Todd's been he sort of does 4.5 minutes of setup and then gets in maybe a funny line. This is the first time he got in a funny punchline, which was something unholy in the Holy Land. Yeah. That's a punchline. That's a joke.
Yeah.
That's like a hey, look at that, it got a laugh. That's a major breakthrough in Todd's comedy career.
But here's a question. Do you want to be introduced in the future? Because then it brings high expectations.
Yes.
You may have seen him at Caroline's in the Comedy Store. It's like, oh, this guy, he must be. And then they're like, this guy's going to make us crack up. And then when you know it, it's like, how did he end up in those places?
Yeah.
Get you on Conan soon.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.